So, I've been rewatching Ben 10 lately, and man, there are some episodes that are way more terrifying than I remembered as a kid. Like, seriously, what were the writers thinking? This show was supposed to be for children, but some of these moments could give adults nightmares. Today, I'm counting down the top 5 most disturbing and creepy moments from the original Ben 10 series. Trust me, if you thought this was just a fun cartoon about a kid with alien powers, you're in for a shock. Let's dive into some serious nightmare fuel. Starting off our list is something that might not seem scary at first, but when you really think about it, it's pretty dark. In the episode Ken 10, we see Ben's future and his son Ken getting his own Omnitrix on his 10th birthday. Sounds cool, right? Wrong. What makes this creepy isn't monsters or jump scares, it's the implications. Future Ben has become this obsessive superhero who literally can't stop working. He's got like 10,000 aliens now, and he's constantly fighting crime. The guy can't even enjoy his own son's birthday party without running off to capture some villain. But here's the really disturbing part. He gives his 10-year-old son the same device that basically ruined his childhood. Like, Ben never got a normal life because of the Omnitrix, and now he's passing that curse down to Ken. That's some messed up family legacy right there. The whole episode has this underlying tone that Ben's obsession with being a hero has made him kind of a terrible father. He doesn't trust Ken to do anything and treats him like he's just gonna mess up. And then there's Kevin Eleven's son, Devlin, who's been manipulated by his evil dad too. It's like this cycle of damaged kids being raised by people who got their lives screwed up by alien technology. What really gets to me is how Ben 10,000 has completely lost touch with what it means to be human. He's more alien than human at this point, and that's terrifying when you think about where regular Ben might be heading. Now we're getting into the really creepy stuff. The episode Doctor, Animo, and the Mutant Ray is basically a Frankenstein horror movie disguised as a Ben 10 episode. And let me tell you, it does not hold back on the nightmare fuel. So Ben messes with his Omnitrix, because of course he does,
You shouldn't mess around with that thing, Ben.
and accidentally breaks the faceplate. This causes him to transform into these weird alien combinations like stink arms, forearms plus stinkfly,
Arms and Stinkfly's body? Must be another new alien.
and diamond matter, diamond head plus gray matter.
Man, diamond head and gray matter.
Already pretty disturbing to see Ben's body getting all twisted up like that. But the real horror comes from Dr. Animo. This guy finds the broken Omnitrix piece and decides to use it to mutate every living thing on Earth. Like, this dude literally wants to turn the entire planet into his personal freak show laboratory. He tests his mutation ray on a bat and turns it into this horrifying heat blast bat hybrid called Heatbat. Imagine a flying, fire-breathing bat monster. That's pure nightmare material right there. The worst part is when he shoots the ray at Max and turns him into this gross fly-human hybrid. Seeing Grandpa Max with bug wings and compound eyes is just shudders. Poor Max is trying to be comforting while looking like something out of the Fly movie. The way his voice changes and he starts craving rotten eggs and sewer water, absolutely disgusting. What makes this episode extra creepy is how Animo treats living beings like they're just science experiments. He's got no problem torturing and mutating innocent creatures just to prove his theories work. That's some serious mad scientist horror movie stuff that probably traumatized a lot of kids watching Cartoon Network. Oh boy, this one gave me serious body horror vibes. The Ben Wolf episode is basically a werewolf transformation story, but they made it way more disturbing than it needed to be. So Ben gets scratched by this alien werewolf called a Loboan while trying to help this girl Kai, who he obviously has a crush on. At first it seems like no big deal, but then Ben starts changing. And I mean really changing in some gross ways. First he's just scratching himself a lot, which seems normal enough, but then his skin starts turning blue, his nails become claws, his ears get pointy, and hair starts growing all over his body. The way they animate this transformation is genuinely disturbing. You can see Ben's human features slowly disappearing as he becomes more animal-like. But the really creepy part is how Ben's personality starts changing too. He becomes this ravenous eating machine, just shoving raw eggs and milk into his mouth like a wild animal. The scene where he's making a mess all over Kai while eating like a beast is just gross and uncomfortable to watch. Then he fully transforms into Benwolf, and while the alien form looks cool, the context makes it terrifying. This isn't Ben choosing to transform. This is Ben losing his humanity against his will. The idea that touching the wrong alien could permanently change you into something else, that's some serious existential horror right there. What makes it worse is that Wes explains Ben will become a werewolf forever if they don't stop the alien that bit him. Imagine being 10 years old and finding out you're slowly losing your human identity. And there's only one very specific way to save yourself. The time pressure and inevitability of the transformation makes this whole episode feel like a countdown to Ben's doom. If you thought Ghost Freak escaping was bad, just wait until you see what he does when he comes back. Be Afraid of the Dark is hands down one of the most atmospheric and genuinely scary episodes in the entire series. So Zizskyer, that's Ghost Freak's real name, comes back with a plan that's basically the end of the world. He wants to use a space station to shoot a corrodium beam that will block out the sun across the entire Earth. Why? Because sunlight is his only weakness, so if he gets rid of it, he becomes unstoppable. But that's not even the scary part. The scary part is what the corrodium does to people. This stuff doesn't just block out the sun, it mutates every human and animal on the planet into these horrible, twisted creatures. We actually see this happen when Zizskyer succeeds temporarily. Everyone on Earth transforms into these grotesque monsters.
Falls.
The episode takes place mostly in space, which already feels isolated and claustrophobic. Then you add Zizskyer, flying around in the vacuum of space at full power, looking like this nightmare skeleton creature, and it's like something out of an alien horror movie. What really gets to me is how personal Zizskyer makes his revenge. He specifically targets Ben's family, possessing Gwen to make Ben choose between saving the world and saving his cousin. The way he uses Ben's loved ones against him is psychological torture. And that final scene where they have to open the airlock and point it toward the sun to destroy Zizskyer, watching him burn up and disintegrate while screaming is genuinely disturbing. Yeah, he's the bad guy, but seeing any character die like that is pretty intense for a kid's show. The whole episode has this hopeless, apocalyptic feeling that most Ben 10 episodes don't have. It really feels like the stakes are life or death for everyone on Earth. And here we are, the absolute creepiest, most nightmare-inducing moment in Ben 10 history. The episode where Ghost Freak breaks free from the Omnitrix is pure horror movie material. And I'm still not sure how this aired on Cartoon Network. It starts innocent enough. Ben's having nightmares about Ghost Freak, which should have been our first warning sign. Then during the day, Ben keeps seeing Ghost Freak in random places. Reflections, shadows, beakers in the science lab. It's giving serious psychological horror vibes, like Ben might be losing his mind.
Let me out!
Leave me alone!
But then the real nightmare begins. Ben tries to transform into Heat Blast, but gets Ghost Freak instead. And something is very, very wrong. Ghost Freak starts fighting way more violently than usual. And when Gwen tells him he's trashing the gym, Ghost Freak responds with, "Ben isn't here," in this creepy, evil voice. That line still gives me chills.
You're trashing the whole gym!
Not here.
Then comes the moment that probably traumatized an entire generation of kids. The Omnitrix times out, Ben transforms back to human, but Ghost Freak is still there. He's floating in midair, completely separate from Ben. And he starts explaining how he was never just a transformation. He had his own consciousness trapped inside the Omnitrix this whole time. But wait, It gets worse. Ghost Freak then proceeds to rip off his outer layer of skin like it's a costume, revealing this absolutely terrifying skeletal form underneath. His real body is this nightmare creature with exposed skull, ribs, and these horrific claws. The way they animate this skin-peeling scene is genuinely disturbing. And then, Ziskyer. His real name starts chasing Ben with the explicit goal of possessing his body to gain permanent control of the Omnitrix. The idea that one of Ben's own aliens was secretly plotting against him this whole time is such a violation of trust. It makes you question every other alien transformation. Are they all just pretending to be under Ben's control? The scene where Ben has to run into direct sunlight to escape is like something out of a vampire movie, and the way Ziskyer retreats while screaming in pain from the light is both satisfying and terrifying. What makes this episode so effective is how it takes something that was supposed to be one of Ben's cooler aliens and turns it into this betrayal horror story. Ghost Freak was always one of the more popular transformations, so having him become the villain feels like a personal attack on the audience. Plus, the implications are terrifying when you think about them. If Ghost Freak had his own consciousness, what about the other aliens? Are they all potentially planning their own escapes? The Omnitrix suddenly doesn't feel like a cool superhero gadget anymore. It feels like a prison for dangerous alien minds. So there you have it, the top 5 creepiest moments from Ben 10 that probably shouldn't have been in a kids' show. Looking back, it's amazing how dark this series could get while still being entertaining for children. What I love about these episodes is how they take the basic concept of Ben 10 and push it into genuine horror territory. They explore the darker implications of having alien DNA, the psychological effects of constantly changing your body, and the idea that power always comes with consequences. These episodes prove that kids' shows don't have to be all sunshine and rainbows to be good. Sometimes a little nightmare fuel makes the story more memorable and impactful. Though I do feel bad for any parents who had to deal with kids having bad dreams after watching these episodes. Which of these moments creeped you out the most? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into childhood trauma disguised as cartoons.